Back with you at 9:13. You know, many of us drive on toll roads every day. Maybe you're about to hop on one right now. And now the money you spend there is going to fund the Oklahoma Highway Patrol Trooper Academy. Joining us now to talk about this, Oklahoma Highway Patrol Lieutenant Kara Philippi. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Really appreciate the time. You know, just last week we were talking with Trooper Durant about how understaffed your department is and how without the academy to get new troopers, you're not bringing anybody else into your department to fill those gaps, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Our numbers are so low right now. It was literally getting to a point with us that it's critical. As far as, you know, we want to go out and be able to provide the services that we always have. The numbers just don't allow it, you know, the same way.
The numbers that I had at that time, which was, like I said, just last week, the agency still 154 troopers understaffed, 26% of the current staff also eligible for retirement at any time. And he was saying they hadn't had a trooper academy in, was it 2 years, going on the third year?
We had one graduate last year.
Oh, you did have one?
I believe it was last year.
Oh, okay. I think he said something different. So you did have one last year. Maybe.
We had them graduate. We were not able to continue our hiring process last year.
Okay, so you weren't able to go through with that. I understand. But this new agreement between the Oklahoma Highway Patrol and the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority now uses some of the funds from the turnpikes, you know, with your Pike Pass and things like that to pay to fund the OHP Trooper Academy to hopefully get some more of you guys on the streets to protect us. How did this agreement come about?
I don't actually have all the details. It was something that happened pretty quick. We can't even express how grateful we are, though, to the Turnpike Authority for it. They've done so much to support us, and they see the need. They see the need and they understand, you know, because everything they do is traffic related as well. So for them to be able to do that, offer that money to us, that was something that it did not look like we were going to get, you know, from the state, from revenue and such, you know, and the major budget cuts that we've had have really put us, you know, just kind of in a hole that we haven't been able to get out of.
And last week he was calling it close to a public safety crisis. You know, he just said, you know, there were times that he didn't feel safe. There weren't enough of you on the road. So hopefully this will help alleviate that just a little bit. We're going to switch a mic out real fast. I think we might be having a little bit of mic problems, which is fine. Live TV.
Yep.
Do want to move into Memorial Day weekend, as many people are moving into Memorial Day weekend and making their plans, big plans. You know, a lot of fun celebrating and remembering why we are celebrating this great holiday. How does Oklahoma Highway Patrol prepare for a weekend like this?
Okay, we try to schedule our troopers in a way that we can utilize them, you know, in the places and on specific shifts that we know we might have, you know, more issues and stuff. You know, unfortunately with weekends like this, people go out and they celebrate. We want them to go out and have a good time, but we want them to do it responsibly. But, you know, a lot of times, obviously in the evenings, you know, that's the time that we would typically encounter more drunk drivers and such. So we want to stress also with them that, you know, they make better choices, get a designated driver. We have Uber, taxis, you know, there's so much right there at our disposal. But if we stop you, you will go to jail. So we can be the one that would give you a ride if you want, but you're not going to get a ride home. And it's not anything that we feel bad about, because we know that that's what it takes to save lives. So we'll be out, you know, as in full force as we can. We start the holiday weekend tonight at 6 and it goes until midnight on Monday. And just kind of an idea on some numbers from last year, we had 10 fatalities just in that, I believe it's a 78-hour period. 7 of those were fatality crashes, 2 of them were alcohol related. Yeah, that's a lot of people, and a lot of people that are killed in such a short amount of time, and the number of crashes that we even looked at from that period were over 450 just in that short of time, you know. So we want people to not only take into consideration the alcohol and such, speed, you know, different things like that, following too closely, changing lanes unsafely, and being good attentive drivers. You know, too much of the time we're seeing so much inattention now that's definitely raising those numbers in our collisions.
We showed a video last week with Trooper Durant too. That was, you remember the video of the truck swerving all over the road? It's on my Facebook page if you want to go see that. But it almost clipped an Oklahoma Highway Patrol trooper pulling someone off on the shoulder of the road. Do you think you see more crashes this time of year? Obviously the drinking, but just because there are more people traveling, maybe going to visit some relatives? Are there more people out there?
There's always a lot more people anytime during the travel holiday. You figure, you know, there might be some people that are going to leave work early today, but you can pretty much guarantee probably between, you know, after 3, we're going to start seeing an excessive number on the road. And, you know, people are trying to get to their, you know, their designation or destination, I'm sorry, fast.
Sure.
You know, just slow down, you know, give yourself time to get there, because it's not just you that's trying to get there. Other people have places that they're going as well.
Yeah, I always try to remind myself, you know, how would I feel if the person driving next to me was my mom or my husband? You know, you would want them to be shown the same respect as one of your loved ones. Also want to ask you about how Oklahoma Highway Patrol assists with, unfortunately, drownings or rescues on the water, because you guys do have a team out there or close to the lakes. How does Oklahoma Highway Patrol work with other law enforcement agencies when it comes to that? Because Memorial Day weekend is a big lake weekend.
Yep, absolutely. So we have our Marine Enforcement Division. So we have troopers. We have 24 troopers across the state that are assigned to the 34 major lakes in Oklahoma.
Okay.
But that's just the major lakes, and we're short. We don't even have a trooper on each one. And when you factor in days off and such, some of those troopers are actually covering 4 different lakes. So we don't have a continuous presence on the majority of those lakes, you know, to help with deterring, you know, bad behavior and such. So a lot of times it puts us in a position that we're responding, you know, when after something happens. But we will do our best definitely on the major lakes. But as far as working with other agencies, there's a lot of them that might have some of the resources, you know, that they can respond to drownings and such. But if they don't, and if it's outside of city limits, we typically respond to that. To give you an idea of something, we even responded to a drowning that was in a koi pond at somebody's residence.
Are you? Wow.
And so, you know, if we're needed, we will respond, but you factor in all those lakes, rivers, creeks, and such. So yeah, if they don't have the resources they need, they call on us and we do respond to those.
Do you often, we are running out of time, but I wanted to ask you, just as this is kind of the first lake weekend of the year, do you see more drownings associated with young children, or do you see it with adults who have maybe had too much to drink? What do you usually see, or a mixture of both?
We're actually seeing a mixture of both, and we're seeing some numbers with some younger kids and then into teens. And also last year we had only 4 drownings in the month of May. Already we're up to 9. And so we haven't even finished the month yet. So we're hoping we don't have any more this weekend. We also want to stress, you know, the use of PDFs. You know, Oklahoma requires under the age of 13 or 14 to wear them. We recommend that everybody wear them. So, you know, if you have that, that's just a greater advantage that you have. It's kind of like your seatbelt on the water, is the way that one of the troopers had described it. So we recommend that for everybody. And then one other thing, if we have time, with the lot of rain and stuff that we've, you know, received here lately. I was down at Texoma actually this last weekend, and there were a lot of people talking about logs and debris and things like that, you know, that they're starting to see that have made their way, you know, through different rivers and such. So when people are out there on the boats, they need to be aware of that, and especially if they're going to be on any rafts, jet skis and such, you know, just kind of pay attention to that also.
You've got to be careful.
Absolutely.
You know, I love to go to the lake, I love to ski, and when you see a log close to you, that can be extremely dangerous. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's a great point that you might not be thinking of when you're getting ready to go celebrate with your family. Thank you so much for your time. 9 drownings just this month. That one is too many, of course, but that's a very high number.
Just got that number yesterday.
You hate to hear that.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Lieutenant.
for
We
having us.
certainly
We
appreciate it.